Here is an Oreck XL 2-speed upright vacuum. This one's about 20 to 25 years old, and it just doesn't work as well as it used to. We're going to service it today to restore its performance to pretty much like new. Before I do that, we're going to take some video of it operating before, and then we'll take some video of it operating afterwards so we have a good comparison. A couple things to look for during this clip. I'm going to pull it back over the carpet away from the camera, and because of how this carpet is, you should see a distinct line where the vacuum passed over, so it'll look like that if it's working properly, and you can see that pretty clearly on the picture here. The other thing we're going to take a look for is we're going to listen to the performance, and we're going to see how much does the motor appear to bog down when the vacuum is sitting on the floor normally versus if you're holding it up above the floor. When you set the vacuum down and the brush roll starts to contact the carpet, you should hear the motor come under considerable load if the brush roll and the belt are in good working order. We're also going to take note of how much agitation there is, which will be a function of how good of a condition the brush roll and belt are. And we'll also be able to check the belt by pushing down on the front of the machine while it's on the floor, and if it bogs down considerably, then we know that the belt has got a good grip on both shafts and is working properly. If it doesn't seem to make any difference, then we know the belt is either just completely gone or wearing out. So let me get this thing plugged up here, and then we will do this comparison. These are very easy to service. If you can operate a screwdriver, you can do this procedure. There's no reason to discard the vacuum because of poor performance. Inexpensive parts and simple maintenance will get it going real good again. So it's doing pretty much nothing to the carpet right there. There's very little difference, so the brush roll is either worn down, the bristles are not long enough anymore, or the belt is shot. No difference there at all either, so I think we have both worn out brush roll, which you can see visually the brush roll is pretty worn on this, and the belt is probably completely gone. So let's take this down to the bench, get some parts swapped out, and then we'll come back here in the living room and test it again. Here's the parts we're going to be putting in. We have a new brush roll, and we've got some belts here. We only need one for the procedure, but I'm going to take all these belts and stick them in a different bag when we're done. Actually, we might use two because there's a spare belt apparatus so we can put it on, put one into. So here's the machine. Just lay it down like that on the table. See, the spare belt goes here. Very easy to change the belt routinely. If you don't have a bad brush roll, you just come under here to the side, undo one screw, and this probably has not come off of here in ever. Just push this down like that, and here's access to the belt. Change the belt. To get to the brush roll, we got to go a little bit further. Still not going to use any more tools than a basic Phillips screwdriver. We got 5 screws here, and this whole thing will lift right off. Now, there is a these are direct ear units, so there's an impeller in here which all the dirt and everything else that it picks up passes through. if you're picking up a lot of big, like small rocks and stuff that are coming in the winter time, you know, by the door, or I don't know why the heck you'd be vacuuming up pieces of plastic, but if you got pieces of plastic or anything that's big, screws, it'll chip away at the propeller over time, and eventually the fan will need to be replaced. The fan is a consumable part in machines designed like this. So here we go. That's removed. We now have access to everything inside. We have some pine needles from Christmas. This is one of the vacuums I used around Christmas time last year. I'm going to turn this over and dump all that stuff out of there. There's a lot more in there than I thought there were. Alright, so as we saw before, the belt is not working, and it's all it's way too loose, and it's all cracked and stretched out. So that's why the belt's not working. So we're just I'm gonna push it this way and roll it off the shaft like that. And the brush roll is just as easy. Just pick it up. And these are so easy to service. Literally, if you can use a screwdriver, you can do this. It's so easy. So looking at our brush roll here, especially over here, you can see that it's quite worn down. This is the new one here. There's hardly anything left of the bristles over here. A lot of them have broken off. It's really, really worn out compared to the new one. So that's why it's not working very well. Now, these machines have a very small fan, so a lot of the work is being done by this brush roll, more so than other models. So it's important to keep a good brush roll in place. So now, to put this back in, I don't know why it says new and old, but this side here is where the belt grabs. So this side goes to the right where the belt is, and then as far as this apparatus goes, I'm not sure. Does it matter which way that goes? I'm really not too sure. This is a kind of a dodgy aftermarket brush roll. No, actually it does have that the same. I think I see what it is now. If we put it with the old facing down, does it push the brush roll out further? You know what? I don't know. I don't know why it's like that. I don't see what difference it makes. Admittedly, it's been a while since I've serviced one of these, and I just don't remember. You know what, just so we don't mislead anybody, I'm going to go ahead and grab a brand new one. I happen to have a brand new one here in the shop right now. And we're going to take a look at how it's set up. Here's a brand new one. Never even really been used. Let's just take a quick peek in here and see how it's set up. I actually have to replace the belt in this one too. It broke just due to the sands of time, so I guess I'll leave this apart for later. So that rough part is at the top. So then it's going to sit down in the unit like that. Okay, easy enough. Put this back together later, as to not waste any time during the video. Now, a lot of other channels would cut that out, pretend to know exactly what's going on about everything. We don't do that here. We leave that kind of stuff in. Okay, so put this like this, facing up. Yeah, fits in there real good. Now the belt, you can see it's all cracked and it's not really sticky anymore. It's real slick. Not good. Actually not too stretched out, but it's not going to work. It's much smaller. See the difference? Actually it is pretty stretched out. Now these I think are a little dodgy, these belts. They're supposed to be legitimate Oreck products, but I don't think so that they are. It is what it is. Worst case scenario, you're going to have to replace it more often. So now what we're going to do here is come on camera. Put it on there like that, and then we'll have to stretch it pretty hard and get it over the shaft. And slip it on there like that. And there we go. It's installed. Real easy to do. This is working properly. Okay. Now we can put everything back together and it should run like new. It's that easy. Don't be concerned if it makes weird noises going that direction. It's not meant to go that direction. If you use this on hard floors, there's a little rubber squeegee that goes there. I have a spare one here. I'm not going to put it on this machine, but this is what it looks like. Just a little rubber squeegee piece. And what it does is, when you're on a hard surface floor, it prevents dirt from flinging backwards. On the carpet, doesn't really make much of a difference. I mostly use this to clean carpet, so I'm not going to worry about it. That didn't sound too good, but I wasn't going that tight, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't want to go tight because it's all plastic screws. You can completely replace the belt just by taking that off. Go ahead and put this back on now. And one more thing we're going to do is replace the bag. This being a direct air machine, it works off of airflow. And when the bag gets dusty, the airflow decreases. So we always want to keep a clean bag in here. This one is with the bag dock. Actually, you know what? This isn't all that bad. I think we're going to keep it. Yeah, it's not too dirty in there. We'll keep going with this bag. I thought it was dirty. It felt heavier for some reason, but it's fine. Okay, let's take this upstairs and see how different the performance is. Okay, let's test it out now. New belt, new brush roll. And you can hear that difference now from when it's on the floor versus above the floor. That's the brush roll working. Let's see what it does to the carpet. Should be a big difference. Look at the difference it made now. You can see clearly where every sweep was. It pulled up the carpet, beat out the dirt, and sucked it up. Now it's working good. It's working good as new. A couple dollars in parts and 5 minutes to swap them out. Much better option than buying a new vacuum.